name is Raul Ramirez. I am the proprietor of this channel of Kung Fu Culture. I've been a long time Kung Fu practitioner. I've won 2 national championships in Sanda in the United States. I trained in Beijing, China at the sports university there. So, welcome to our first official podcast episode. We've done a few live streams in the past. But now let's go ahead and just do a full-on podcast because there's a lot of things going on in the world of, like, say, mixed martial arts, kickboxing, where we have a lot more Sanda practitioners fighting. We probably should have talked about it more with one championship because we have one championship has several Sanda fighters from China and the Philippines uh, competing at the highest levels and doing very, very well. So I think they set a good example of like what Sanda can do in a realistic situation or in like the real world or real professional fighting situation. It definitely can do very, very well for self-defense situations as well. Um, with that being said, I want to kind of talk about a couple things. So if you're in the United States, especially if you're in the Los Angeles area, so Los Angeles, California, we do teach at UCLA. I am currently teaching a summer program there in Sanda kickboxing, but then I'll be teaching year round at their, the normal the gym there. It's called the John Wooden Center on UCLA campus. Also available for private lessons if necessary. You can always message us at any of our like social media or here on our YouTube channel. So welcome. All right, so let's go and get down to the subject of today. So today we're talking about, or we're going to be mostly talking about the recent knockout of Joanna Jędrzejczyk from by Zhang Weili or Weili Zhang from China in the UFC fight. So one of the things that led to that, or I'd like to kind of point out, is that so the side thrust kick itself. So might as well show you the incident first, right? So this is going to be the last moment. It's going to be in Chinese, but bear with us. Just watch the video, okay?
再来看一下，一个后手打空之后啊，直接转身后蹬，边拳，哦，直接打挺脸着地啊！今天马和沙特和张伟丽都是让对手脸着地。哇，天哪！再来看一下转身边拳发力非常充分，太棒！
All right, so what you saw there was that as Joanna like closed the distance, Weili, she started to actually throw kind of a side thrust kick. It missed, but the thing is, the posture of that position of throwing that side thrust kick is more of a side angle. So you're actually having to lean back or almost not, yeah, I guess lean back, but you're leaning away from the strikes, right? So Joanna is coming in straight at Weili, and by leaning back to throw the side thrust kick, and you can see that her leg is up in that side thrust kick position or a side thrust kick motion, right? So that naturally gets her head out of punching range, right? So then when Weili is able to finally put her foot down, right, after she has the kick up, then she puts her foot down and then she's able to turn around and get that side, actually not the spinning back fist going. So let's go ahead and look at it again, and then I'll talk over it this time. Okay, so you see here that her leg goes up. I think it kind of makes contact, but then when she brings her foot down, she's able to spin around. Right, for that back spinning back fist, right? So the leg does go up, and that actually gets her head out of striking or like punching range, right? So Joanna's punches miss, and then Weili's back spinning fist is able to get full power and get that knockout. All right, so that's what we're talking about here. That's basically kind of like the ability or like the specialness of wushu sanda, or like just Chinese kickboxing. Sanda, or some people know it as sansho, or I think there's probably some other terminology, but really nowadays it's called Sanda or Wushu Sanda. So unfortunately, in like one championship, they're using like they're just calling it Wushu. So I think it kind of is a little bit of a disservice to the whole community, in that so the way it works, or the way it's broken down, is that wushu means martial arts in Chinese. And so what they do is they break up the two categories. So they also have a lot of the forms, right? So kind of like the dancing moves, and like these long sequences you often see where they're doing routines with swords or spears and all that. So those kinds of routines, we usually call them forms, right? But those have a different name, Tao Lu. So Taolu. So Tao Lu. So often what they do is to do the full official terminology, it'd be wushu. So martial art Tao Lu is the forms, right? So wushu Tao Lu is that. And then for the kickboxing, which is sanda, so they usually call it wushu sanda. So that's why, like in one championship, they are um, they're just saying wushu. So that just means martial arts, literally. So it's kind of imprecise, and then I think it kind of gives people the notion where it's like, oh, any kind of person who's doing the forms and stuff can can win in these professional fights. That's not exactly true. um, I think you can get a lot of good like workouts and good fundamentals from doing the forms and all that, but you're not necessarily practicing fighting, so you wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't bet on you, right? If you only practice forms and then you jumped into a fight, you probably will lose, right? So, um, so, so that's kind of I kind of wanted to clear that up, the whole wushu sanda, wushu taolu type of thing. So yeah, wushu is martial arts, but the other thing though is like with regards to one championship, because they have so many people from different martial art backgrounds that they have fighting in there. They have kind of like crunched the numbers, and did all kinds of surveys, and they came up with a kind of like a list of the most effective fighting styles for MMA. And of course, in the top five was uh, Sanda, right? So this style that we're talking about here on this channel, right? So it is very effective. you know I think some people definitely they have like their own preferences. Like a lot of people love Muay Thai, so then they think Muay Thai is the only style of kickboxing. But the thing is, like in MMA, you're not really seeing they kind of like these Muay Thai based people like dominating, right? You are seeing a drive to get more knockouts and whatnot, but you're not necessarily seeing a pure, like a Muay Thai purist or whatever, like someone who looks like they're doing Muay Thai, doing these matches and winning so much, right? I think wrestling ultimately dominates still, right? Um, and I think Sanda is one of the styles that lends itself best to MMA, that has like that is a striking style first and foremost, and then it has the wrestling aspect, so then it blends very well with wrestling. So I think you can have these styles really dominating, right? And so we're seeing it, even though in the UFC, Zhang Weili is doing very well. It'd be great if you can see more Sanda practitioners in the UFC, but we have several in one championship, so you can see them doing very, very well. And let's go ahead and talk about let's go and show the clip one more time um, of this recent knockout, and you can then see the practical nature of the side kick itself, how it kind of naturally, even though the kick doesn't necessarily land very well, it naturally gets Weili's head out of punching range. Okay, so here we go. Let's check it out again.
再来看一下，一个后手打空之后啊，直接转身后蹬，边拳，哦，直接打挺脸着地。
There we go. They're going to show it one more time. So the kick goes up. I think it does make a little bit of contact slightly, but the most important thing is that it gets the head out of punching range, and it still allows you to punch back. Right, so that's what we have there. That's what we have happening there in that fight. Right, so there. So if you want to learn, go ahead and we kind of want to explore what people are interested in this channel. So we've been posting a lot of stuff, a lot of shorts just from the UCLA class that I teach. Hopefully people seem to be enjoying those, all over social media, on our Instagram and even on our TikTok and stuff. Let us know if you want anything more in particular. So we'll just keep on building this channel. So we can get serious about it. Right? So feel free to ask any questions on any of our social media or in the comments below. So thank you very much. We'll go ahead and sign off today. This is our first official podcast episode. Let's go ahead and kind of keep it nice and easy. So hopefully everyone can keep on training, and we can share our love for Kung Fu, the self-defense aspect, the sport aspect, all this cool kickboxing stuff. Also, let us know if there's anything more you want to see, whether it be like the kickboxing stuff, like MMA stuff, or even the self-defense stuff, because Sanda is a really great base style. And also the Chinese wrestling stuff is also a really great base style for self-defense, right? So just comment, let us know what you want to see, and we'll kind of work on it. All right, so thank you again. We'll go ahead and sign off and say jiao. So keep on training, go for it, right? So keep training hard.